Hare Krishna, this is Navneet and I welcome you to Vyasa Astro channel. Saturn transit in Pisces 2025. I'll make this video in many parts. This video is a special video. It's an introductory video where I'll explain how Saturn is going to behave in Pisces in all the three nakshatras, which is Purva Bhadrapada, Uttar Bhadrapada, and Revati. And once you've learned it, we'll do, this transit for all 12 ascendants and all 12 rashis. And I'll be coming up with 12 different videos on each ascendant and each rashi. Why? Because I don't want to spend like 10 minutes on every ascendant and every rashi and give you a very generic thing. What I'll do is, because there are, four things that are very, very important when we're doing the transit. And transit cannot be accurate on a particular chart because you have your dasha running, it's a good or a bad dasha, you have your sadhasatis, you have some other planetary positions in the same sign and the same house where the Saturn is transiting. So that will give a very different flavor to what you will experience in the coming time. But if I can spend like 40-45 minutes on each lagna and each rashi, it will give you a fair amount of idea that how are you going to navigate through these next 2.5, 3 years of your life. So this is my plan, this is my project, and I'll try to complete all 12 signs and moon signs and ascendants by March 28th. But prior to that, today is the time when I'll have a detailed discussion about how Saturn behaves in Purva Bhadrapada Purva Bhadrapada, the Chaturth Charana, the last pada, and then the four padas of Uttar Bhadrapada, and then the Revati. Again, it is going to be very, you know, it's a broader view where we'll understand that how are you going to emotionally, feel and practically, do certain things in your life in these 2.5 years. So let me not waste further time and let me get to the point. You see, Saturn is a planet which is Karka of Ketu houses. Did you understand what I said? Saturn is the Karka of Ketu houses. When I say Ketu houses or Ketu signs, so if you make a Kalpurush horoscope where you have Aries as the first sign, first house, the eighth house has Scorpio Rashi, which is own sign for Ketu, and the Mula Trikona sign for Ketu is Pisces. So 8 and 12. And Saturn becomes the significator, the project manager for the 8th house and the 12th house. Have you ever imagined why? Because it is the Saturn who takes this project in his hands to give you the results of all the past life karmas. Why? Because Ketu is a planet that holds whatever you've achieved in the previous life. And it is not necessary that whatever you've achieved in the previous life is good or bad. It's not always good. It can be bad as well. It can be very average stuff as well. So, but you've achieved it. So, Ketu holds that. And Saturn is the one who says, okay, Ketu, can you show me what is this person who's already accomplished all these things? Let me find out what was right, what was wrong in what he's accomplished. And if he's done something wrong, I mean, we'll have to give him some lesson for his for his accomplishments in his life, and that's known as the karma theory. Now, when you do a transit, it is very important to understand that during last 2.5 years, what has Saturn achieved? You see, Saturn was in Satabhisha and then in Purva Bhadrapada. Prior to that, Saturn was in Dhanishta. But the major transformation of Saturn came when Saturn was in Satabhisha. Satabhisha is a nakshatra of collective effort, 100 stars. It's a, it's a huge constellation. And when you have those 100 stars working together, people born in Satabhisha Nakshatra, they would always achieve things in their life when they are working as a unit, as a team, as partners, as collaborators. You see, when Saturn was in Satabhisha, there was collaborations happening all around the world. Maybe it was for a war, or it was for social media. There are a lot of people who were collaborating, working as a team to provide a lot of information, a lot of knowledge to this world. And what happens when you provide knowledge and information to the world is that first you attain a lot of knowledge and a lot of information. And once you've attained huge amount of information and knowledge, you start giving it to the world and start feeling proud of yourself and start thinking that now you deserve, or now you want these things in your life. Suppose that you really worked hard before your exams. What will be your expectation? The expectations would be that you want that you should be in the first, you know, or in the first position, or at least in the first three positions in any competition, or you should be in the top, in that top league. You want this, you are expecting this to happen. But when you get into Purva Bhadrapada, where Purva Bhadrapada is a Jupiterian blessed nakshatra, which tries to make a lot of balance. You see, all these, nakshatras that has a very powerful Rudra Devata energy, those nakshatras, those energy houses are very difficult to handle. And when Saturn came in Purva Bhadrapada, suddenly, you've realized one thing, and yet the transit hasn't happened. It will happen on March 29th. But there's one realization that have started coming is that you will never get what you want in your life, but you'll get what you deserve in your life. That's the theme of Saturn getting into the Pisces in the last pada of Purva Bhadrapada Nakshatra and then going on to Uttar Bhadrapada. You see, for 2.5 years, what approximately, what is going to happen with you people is that since you've achieved, you've worked hard, you've learned, and you think you are capable of doing these many things in your life, suddenly, this transit will tell you, and started telling you already, that hey, you'll not get it because you don't deserve it. You want this thing to happen, that thing to happen, fine. But The only things that will manifest for you in next 3 years is what you deserve. And that's where Saturn becomes the significator of sorrow. And as a human, we have to adjust to this fact. What is sorrow? Sorrow is that you want this thing, but you didn't get it, you got something else. And then your complaint is that whatever I wanted in my life, I never got it. But the person, the human would never say what I got, what I deserved. And there are possibilities that what you deserve is 1,000 times better than what you want. Who knows? This bhagya. You deserve much more. That's where, as a human, you understand transits. So, Purva Bhadrapada nakshatra is a nakshatra that gives you balance. That, hey, look, you've learned so much, you've achieved so much, you've shown the world that you're capable of doing anything. Let me dissect you and let me open you up and let me show to the world and to this team your internal organs which has no light. You see my face, my skin, it has light. You can see me. Can you see my heart? Can you see my kidney? Can you see my liver? No. It's all dark inside. It's darkness, complete darkness. And if you want to see it, you have to either puncture my body or you have to open up. That is why I also consider Purva Bhadrapada as a butcher nakshatra. It behaves like a butcher. It opens you up. And that's what you've seen. That's what has happened in last 1 year. Things have opened up. You'll find great surgeons, great surgeons who do long operations for almost a day or day and a half or 2 days. They'll have their 10th Lord or Moon in Purva Bhadrapada. People, who are policy makers, who will make policies, who would, help in division of the family. They'll open at, certain things. So it's like there are two brothers and they have 10 properties to divide. And it says the elder says, I need these 5 properties, and you give these 5 properties to the younger one. There's a guy who comes and says, hey, no. That's not the way. These are the 5 that you'll get, and these are the 5 that you'll get. That's the message of Purva Bhadrapada. You'll get what you deserve, and you'll not get what you want. And that becomes sorrow, and that is an emotional turmoil in your life. And that is where the sign of Pisces helps you to come out of that emotional turmoil. I'll give you another example. People who have Saturn in the sign of Pisces permanently in your horoscope when you were born, or people who have Saturn in the 12th house, at least for first 36 years of their life, they will always, even if they don't complain, but they will have this feeling in their mind that, hey, I wanted this and I never got that. They'll come back to the husband and say that I wanted a lot of emotions and love from you. You have always been my side. You are a wonderful man. You are everything for me, but I never got what I wanted from you. That's the story of Saturn in Pisces, or even Saturn sitting in the 12th house. And that's the problem with your, mental health. You'll find yourself emotionally vulnerable. You'll find yourself emotionally not stable at all. For an example, you wanted to be a great businessman. You tried your startups in when Saturn was in Aquarius. I mean, Dhanishta, all the world was supporting you. You got tons of knowledge in Shatabisha. You got collective work. You build a team. And now that you come to know, and Saturn is telling you that, hey, 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 it's not enough. You'll not achieve, you'll not get what you want by doing all this thing. You'll only get what you deserve. And then suddenly you are like so down. Hey, I worked hard, I did this, I did that. Nothing worked in my life. And then suddenly, probably if you really, really worked hard, the positive side of Saturn entering the Purva Bhadrapada, there'll be a sudden quick raise in your work. Suddenly, you'll find yourself so well placed at your work. I said, wow, I was thinking of an ordinary job of a project manager, and now I got a role which I never thought, but I'm enjoying it so much. I'm just loving it. So, the first thing that I'll tell you with this transit is stop thinking what you want and start, accepting what you deserve. You understand what I'm saying? If you do that, there will be a huge transformation. There will be a huge emotional balance that will be coming in your life for next 2.5, 3 years. You see why, Saturn just gets debilitated in the next sign of Aries? Because Saturn is a planet of boundaries. And Purva Bhadrapada and Uttar Bhadrapada are the nakshatras who liberates you. There are no boundaries there in Purva Bhadrapada and Uttar Bhadrapada. And now you think of a planet going in a sign or in the nakshatras that do not have boundaries. And all you've got as a Saturn is boundary, as something which is like restriction. And now Saturn is getting more knowledge that, hey, I've collected this knowledge. Now I have to do something different. I have to work on my, internal sense, that secret urge that you don't tell anyone in this world. You would say, oh, I don't want anything in my life, but still you need 10,000 things in your life, which are between you and your mind and your soul. And Saturn is going to come and educate you about, hey, change it. First, see what you deserve and then plan yourself on what you want in your life. And this transformation is a very, very difficult transformation. You see, in the different parts of the world, there are countries that are fighting with each other. All they have accumulated in the Saturn was in Aquarius was what they want. Be it the bigger country, right on the top of our country, or another country which is on the side. They're all fighting for what they want. But now when the Saturn comes in Pisces in Purva Bhadrapada, last pada, and then Uttara Bhadrapada, they'll know what they deserve. And then as a very ordinary statement, you say, oh, there'll be a world war, this will happen, that will happen. Come on. It's not like that. And Purva Bhadrapada, Uttara Bhadrapada. Uttara Bhadrapada is like there's fire in the sky, but you can't see it. And the fire in the sky that you can't see, it is that thunder that comes on, and it's like fire, it's like current. And it also has a lot of Akash, which is Jupiter. And when there is a thunder in the sky, it rains. So definitely there's going to be weather changes. There will be certain areas that will be hit at the mundane level with the extreme amount of, weathers and, so many other things that will come. But on the same time, it will be a very knowledgeable 2.5 years for masses. People are going to learn lessons of their life in whichever house you have Purva Bhadrapada, Uttar Bhadrapada for them. So wherever you have sign of Pisces, maybe if it is in the seventh house, right? What will happen? It's not what you want in your life as a partner. It's you'll come to know that, hey, I deserve this. I should not work on what I want. I mean, you can do it in a very sorrowful way, or you can do it in a very positive way. And that's the liberation which God has given to the humans. So Uttara Bhadrapada, like Ajay Ekapada was like giving you that balance on one leg. That, hey, balance. Now you are entering an emotional zone, right? You're coming to the reality. And then Uttara Bhadrapada tells you that, hey, you've accumulated knowledge, work on yourself, distribute to the entire world that you're hiding. Tell every world what you deserve rather than what you want. And that is where the Jupiter will help you, your spirituality. Nobody talked about Venus getting exalted in Pisces. Nobody talked about. I don't know why. And why did Venus is the sun, is this one planet that gets exalted there is because Venus is one planet who got Sanjeevani from Shiva. And getting Sanjeevani from Shiva means you get the Mahamrityunjaya mantra is because Jupiter is completely unaware that what should I be doing in the hospital or in jail or in isolation, because Jupiter is a teacher. He wants students around him. He wants to teach. He wants king around him. He wants to probably prepare his constitution, Arthashastra. He wants to make policies, protocols for how to run the kingdom. He wants to make the Panchanga. He wants to give rituals to the people. But Venus wants to give life to the people. Venus wants to give transformation to the people. Venus is something who prepares your school bag. Like your mother he says, have you packed your bag? If not, you've left with this book, that book. That's the meaning of Mahamrityunjaya. Have you packed your bags? That's the most important thing. And that is why Venus gets exalted. Venus knows exactly what to do in the sign of Pisces, in hospitals, whether to give life or relieve or give them a new life. And that is how Ketu is it's a work, it's office for Ketu. Jupiter is there as the Lord. And Saturn is the Karaka, and Venus is exalted. Where you come to practicality, you come to the terms, like you've been smoking, drinking, and everything, and suddenly you are in hospital realizing those last 10 days of your life. Where have you backed up your life or not? When you say have you backed up your life, means have you distributed wealth to your children? Have you, sorted certain things? Have you settled your accounts or not? That is backup of your life. And if you have done your Mahamrityunjayas in your life, you know, you can easily back up your life. And that is why the Sanjeevani, which can rejuvenate you as a new human being, as a new you, and to accept that new you, your karmas, the Saturn, the work that you have done in the past, it will take some emotional toll. You will be emotionally in a difficult situation for some time. But if you can understand Venus, if the Venus is well placed in your horoscope, if Ketu is powerful in your horoscope, and if Jupiter is also supporting you, you'll come out very well in this transit. Very well. Emotionally settled. Because when Saturn goes in Aries sign, you know what is going to happen? The closest people for whom you've done so much in your life, they'll come and hurt you. They'll come and hurt you because now in the Pisces, Saturn will learn the emotions. And suddenly you start feeling emotional about everything. Saturn, being such a practical, cold planet, is now very, very emotional. It's this understanding knowledge. And then in the Revati, it's showing the path to the people that, hey, I worked hard. I thought I'll become this, but I knew I didn't deserve it. And I worked hard. I changed myself. I looked at, myself internally, that pinde brahmande, kind of a concept that whatever is out is whatever inside. So you realize what is happening inside, and now you become emotional, you're showing path, and suddenly you have the karma left. Saturn goes to the Aries, and suddenly you'll you'll see that your 40 years old friend, 30 years old of relationship, your uncle, your mom, your father, your brother, your sister, your wife, for children, for whom you've done so much in your life, have just emotionally shattered you. That's what Saturn in Aries is all about. You are burning with the pain. And that is when Saturn is not aware that what the hell is this life? I worked hard. I thought I'll become this. I realized that I don't deserve this in Pisces. And I accepted the fact. I moved on. And now the most closest people in my life are hurting me. Wow. And then that is where Surya becomes very, very powerful. Hey, come on. You have to be little practical and cruel about yourself. Don't be that emotional. And that is why Surya gets exalted there. So it's like it's going to be very interesting 5 years of your life. And this opportunity is after 30 years. And obviously, you know, with every pada, when the Saturn moves in, it will be in a particular Navamsha. And that Navamsha, looking at your chart, will cater you to understand how are your past life karmas because of which you are experiencing what you are experiencing now, and what is the best possible remedy. See, remedy cannot be generic, but there's one remedy that I would 100% tell everyone. See, Pisces is a sign of Triambakeshwara Jyotirlinga. If on the day when the Saturn is transiting, you can visit Triambakeshwara Jyotirlinga, or at least for 1 hour, one complete hour, just chant Om Triambakeshwaraya Namaha, or get a Rudra Abhishek done and tell Panditji, tell your Brahmin that I want to do this Rudra Abhishek by chanting Om Triambakeshwaraya Namaha. Trust me. It's like every transit is like a Tithi Pravesh. It's like it's a birthday of that transit for next 2.5, 3 years. And what do you do in Tithi Pravesh, by the way? You go to Somanath or you go to different places, do Ayush pujas and you do, Rudra Abhishek. You offer water, milk, and so many things on Shivalingam. And there's a specific, process that the Brahmin does with you. So if you can understand this particular transit, it's the time to keep chanting and getting close to Triambakeshwara energy of Mahadev. Trust me, it will help you to emotionally settle yourself. It will help you to understand what you deserve in life. It will help you that how your works and efforts can reach to a level where you can help masses in a very genuine way. And in the coming lectures or the coming videos, I'm going to talk about the bear and the bull concept about the different rashis. Like for an example, I'll tell you what, all the male signs like Aquarius or Aries or Gemini, they have this tendency of acquiring things, of rising things. But all the female signs have, this energy where the things goes down and then you hug and then you settle down emotionally and then you move on in life. So everything decreases, with the bear concept and everything increases with the bull concept. You've seen a lot of increase. And then when the Saturn is about to come, in Pisces, the female sign, the bear sign, not the bull sign. Bull was Aquarius. And do not relate it with the signs Taurus or something. No, I'm talking about a very different concept. It's the concept, the same concept that you use in stocks, in trading. And the bull concept, the prices are increasing, you're taking things. And you see how the share market went up. And when it was about to come to the Pisces, it crashed. Because now it's going to be all bear concept for next 2.5 years, not the bull. And intelligent people will make wealth out of it. And I must tell you, millionaires do not want astrologers. It's the billionaires who want them. And then if you want bigger things in your life, you need to, plan your life with your brain, with your knowledge, with your information, and with Jyotisha and with astrology. I hope you liked it. I can speak for another half an hour, but then I'll cover that with all the 12 signs in all 12 videos which are coming in next 10 days. Till then, Hare Krishna, and stay blessed wherever you are. Tons of love to you. Har Har Mahadev. Thank you.